Today's San Francisco 49ers report is presented by Rhone. You can get 20% off site-wide by heading to rhone.com/chatsports. Use the promo code chatsports. The commuter shirt, a staple in my wardrobe. You can see for yourself using that link down below. We'll tell you more about them coming up later on today's episode. Let's begin here with the latest 49ers news and rumors, and we have a slew of things to get to on today's show. I do want to begin with Jimmy Garoppolo here because, yes, it looks as though he is not going to return to the Bay Area, but he really helped overturn and rebuild this franchise to a certain degree. When he came here in 2017, Kyle Shanahan's first year, this franchise was down in the dumps after the Jim Tom Sula, Chip Kelly era, so he does deserve some credit for what he was able to do with this franchise, and he was a pillar of the San Francisco 49ers for a while and finally gave them some stability at that quarterback position. And according to Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, Jimmy G going to be, quote, costly during NFL free agency. As for the teams who are potentially vying for his services, a couple of them. Fowler with more. Talking to teams around the league, he's expected to be really the number 3 quarterback in the pecking order behind Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers in this quarterback carousel that we're all talking about. Some natural fits some teams mention. You have the Houston Texans, if they need a bridge option behind whoever they draft, and then the Atlanta Falcons. Arthur Smith runs a variation of that Kyle Shanahan system, but Garoppolo is going to be costly. He wants a contract commensurate with his skill set and ability. Here's the thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. Not going to get paid a ton of money, but I think he's going to be at about middle-tier quarterback value. A big reason why I don't think organizations are going to give him a long-term contract, it's the injury issues that have been an issue since he came to the 49ers in 2018. He tore his ACL. He was even injured with the New England Patriots, and throughout his entire tenure in a Niners uniform, consistently getting hurt. And I think that's a big reason why Kyle Shanahan probably had a conversation with John Lynch, and he's like, look, Jimmy G did some great things for our franchise, right? As I said, he helped rebuild this organization. He gave us some stability. I can't count on him any longer. He brought us on some deep playoff runs. He had some great moments, but I need a quarterback who can consistently stay healthy. Jimmy G simply cannot. A sneaky team that I think could sign Jimmy Garoppolo, it's the Carolina Panthers. Led by new head coach Frank Reich, the Panthers are in an interesting position. They have the number 9 overall pick in the NFL draft. That might be a little bit too late to draft one of the premier quarterbacks who they like in this draft class if they don't move up. And even if they get a quarterback at number 9, maybe it's a project like Anthony Richardson. Jimmy Garoppolo, the perfect bridge quarterback to maybe start for a year or two as you develop a prospect like that. And then that opens up an opportunity down the road to start one of those rookie quarterbacks. But in the meantime, you can compete and you can have competent play at that quarterback position. Look out for the Carolina Panthers to be a sneaky team to sign Jimmy Garoppolo during the free agency period. Now, speaking of free agency, when it happens, tampering period starts March 13th, free agency period March 15th. We have you covered here. Anytime there's a signing, anytime there's a big report, a big rumor, a news item, we're going to talk about it in depth better than any other YouTube channel that covers the Niners on a daily basis. So make sure you subscribe. We're about 1,100 people away from 80,000 subscribers. More news and rumors to get to. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball, especially that defensive line for San Francisco, which I think they need to focus on building up and help out Nick Bosa a little bit throughout this offseason. Get some depth at defensive tackle and get another edge rusher. And at defensive tackle, are they going to move forward without Javon Kinlaw on this football team? The Athletic listing the 2020 first-round pick as a potential cap casualty this offseason. And this is how his contract breaks down if he were to be let go. He has a 2023 cap hit of $4.9 million. That's not all that much. If he gets cut before June 1, the 49ers save $0. But there's dead money if he's cut prior to June 1 of nearly $5 million. So basically, they would be admitting that they blew that selection in 2022, but it's best to move on from a player who's rarely been available for this defense. The Athletic on Kinlaw. and some of the talking points behind why he might get let go. The 49ers don't have any obvious cap-related cuts. Kinlaw's persistent knee issues have prevented him from reaching his potential or living up to his first-round draft status. The 49ers certainly could part ways with him at some point to gain the roster spot, but cutting him wouldn't result in any additional cap space. That's a negative here, because if they were to cut him and free up some money, that'd be a luxury for the 49ers. As of right now, they have about $8 million in cap space, so not a lot of wiggle room. But I think that they're going to restructure some of the contracts for some of their highest paid players so that they can be in the market for some marquee free agents out there. And for Kinlaw, a massive disappointment considering the expectations that he had and the hope that this organization had when they drafted him before Brandon Ayuk in that first round. 24 games played in 3 years, 45 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 5 quarterback hits, and a total of 2 sacks. You traded away DeForest Buckner. You drafted Javon Kinlaw. That has ended up being a massive mistake. So, get creative here. I want you to dig deep into your mental acumen. Your one-word reaction to describe Kinlaw's first 3 years. I'm going with the simple one. Bust up to this point. Coming up next on the show, latest on Mike McGlinchey. John Lynch does not seem confident that he is going to return to be the team's starting right tackle. And should the Niners sign Leonard Fournette after he was released by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? First, though, today's show is presented by Rhone. I love this commuter shirt for a couple of reasons. It's snug in the chest, fits me really well. It's not too long, but check out how flexible and how stretchable this material is. It's so comfortable, and because of that, I don't have to take these shirts to the dry cleaner. So that saves me some additional money. And when you think about it, men's closets were due for a radical reinvention. Rhone stepped up to the challenge. Their commuter collection, the most comfortable, breathable, flexible set of products known to man. And they have a couple of things within that commuter collection. The world's most comfortable dress pants, which I also wear, but you can't see them, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Rhone commuter collection. And it's very, very comfortable. Mobility is everything. 4-way stretch fabric provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy whatever life throws your way. If you're hitting 18 holes to play some golf, or you're hosting the 49ers Report like me, sitting in an office building. Also, odor-free technology. The commuter collection can get you through the workday and straight into whatever comes next. So head to Rhone.com/chatsports. Use the promo code chatsports for 20% off your entire order. That is RHONE.com/chatsports. Promo code chatsports for that deal to apply. The link is hanging out in the comment section. It's also in the description of this video. So the 49ers offensive line here, one of the big looming questions, what's going to happen with Mike McGlinchey, the former number 9 overall pick out of Notre Dame, whose career has certainly been up and down up to this point. John Lynch from the NFL Combine pretty much admitted that it's going to be really hard to retain him in free agency. Here's what Lynch had to say. Could he miss his market? Sure. Then would we be interested? Of course we would, but I don't see that happening. I see him as a coveted player. Could he miss his market? That's a very interesting note there from John Lynch, because I don't believe there's any way that Mike McGlinchey is going to miss his market. I've said it all along for Mike McGlinchey, because teams have that need at right tackle. They're desperate for offensive line help. They need to get better in the trenches because they realize that to make a deep playoff run, like the 49ers tried to embark on, like the Eagles, like the Chiefs, like those offensive lines were really good playing in the Super Bowl. The 49ers need to improve their offensive line. There are other teams across the NFL that are starving to fortify that unit. So because of that, they're going to pay Mike McGlinchey a lot of money. And I think that his price tag starts at $15 million per year. That's when I look at the current market, his current value, the fact that he's probably the top or number 2 available right tackle in free agency. It's hard sometimes to draft a plug-and-play starter at that right tackle spot, and the going rate for some of the better right tackles in the league is in that $15 to $20 million per year range. Grade Mike McGlinchey as a player on the Madden scale. I know a lot of you are gamers. You hop on the sticks. So if you're on the Madden scale here, how would you grade Mike McGlinchey? 1 to 100. Let us know. Have some fun with it. Let's round out today's show with this. Should the 49ers sign Leonard Fournette? This is a question that I've gotten in my DMs, on Twitter, on Instagram. Feel free to give me a follow at Chase_Senior. He was released by the Buccaneers on Tuesday, and Leonard Fournette has been an accomplished player for a really long time. Now, would I have drafted him number 3 overall out of LSU if I was the Jacksonville Jaguars a couple of years ago? No chance. No chance at all. But he's put together a pretty impressive career. And in 2022, he was solid for a Bucs team that had a porous offensive line that really struggled to run the football. And I think that he's underrated in this regard. A lot of people don't think of Leonard Fournette as a pass catcher. They look at him as a bruiser, a physical back. He can actually catch the ball out of the backfield, which does add to his versatility. 73 catches last year, 523 yards as Tom Brady was check down Charlie all year, 3 receiving touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, and on the ground, still had 668 rushing yards. And in his career, the workload is there. There's tread on the tires. Not a lot of it, 1,100 carries, nearly 4,500 rushing yards in his career, average yards per tote of 4, 34 total touchdowns on the ground to go along with 312 catches. So a lot of people are asking me, like, Chase, he can be this short yardage back for the 49ers, but I'd rather not do that. You have Jordan Mason, who really flashed to me the back half of the year, and Jordan Mason can give you a lot of what Leonard Fournette gives you in terms of running the football. A bell cow, a guy who can pick up some of those difficult yards, a guy who can pick up yards after contact and break tackles. For me, when I watch Jordan Mason, I see a LeGarrette Blount. I see that type of physicality. And for Leonard Fournette, I think the 49ers, it doesn't make sense for them to sign him because Mason makes a whole hell of a lot more sense as compared to Fournette, and he's probably going to be cheaper. And use him as your short yardage back. I hope that Kyle Shanahan trusts him a little bit more to use him in some big spots, because what he did against the Seattle Seahawks on the road to break off that long run, what he did in a couple of instances, it really impressed me. I think that the dude can ball, and if this is your running back depth chart heading into 2023, you're barely paying any money to a late-round pick in Elijah Mitchell. The same can be said for a UDFA in Jordan Mason. You are paying big money to Christian McCaffrey. You have Ty Davis-Price, who you selected in the 3rd round. Go with these 4 backs. John Lynch saying from Indianapolis at the NFL Scouting Combine, they're very confident in what they have in that running back room, and I agree. So for those of you asking me, should the 49ers sign Leonard Fournette, I'm going to say no. If you made it this far, give me a real one roll call. We appreciate all of you for watching. We appreciate all of you for hanging out. Hopefully this show brought you some entertainment. It gave you some happiness today as we could talk some Niners football, because that's what we do in addition to trying to inform you. So we'll catch you next time here on the show. I appreciate all of you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.